morning, everybody. Welcome back. Betting Public Sports Show. I'm your beloved host, famed Rothstein, a.k.a. Bay O Wolf. Today is Wednesday, April 8th, 2026. Please like, subscribe to the channel, leave comments, share the channel in the video. All right? You see Rothstein with a new look. Murder one. Going bald on him, went bald head on him, And as you see, my head is kind of two-toned because I haven't had a bald head in years. But yeah, try to prevent that cul-de-sac thing and all that. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I don't want to hold you too long. No sports betting information. I'll be back with that on Saturday. I'll have some action for you on Saturday. Okay? But this is not a political channel. This is not a political video. But it's going to involve politics here or a political figure. The number one political figure in America. The president of the United States, Donald Joseph Trump. Whether you like him or not, whether you're a Republican, Democrat, right-winger, left-winger, libertarian, whatever, if you're a sports fan, I'm expectorating, pardon me. If you're a sports fan, you got to at least appreciate the fact that for the time being, President Trump has saved college sports. And on some level, with his recent executive orders earlier this week, where basically college athletes have 5 years and they can transfer one time in those 5 years. And if they transfer, they got to sit out a year. And I think he needs kudos for stepping up for that. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It's wartime. America is in a war overseas with another country. So, something about college football is a little trivial compared to, what's really going on with America. But at least as a sports fan, I definitely appreciate this. I got tired of seeing these 28-year-old college athletes. Granted, there were always older athletes back in the day. The BYU guys are always 24 when they're seniors and older because of their religious commitments they have to make. Some of the, and then there was like Chris Winkie who won a Heisman. He was like 28 when he played at Florida State. But he had tried like another sport or something, tried another career, and then came back to football. So, there's always been that, but like as of right now in current day, you go to these teams, these rosters, and dude's been on his third team because he's chasing NIL money. He's been on his third team, and he's 25 years old, and it's like, nah, man, we can't be doing this. Most of them are younger, traditional college age, 22, whatever. But there were like a lot of guys who were just way too old. It's like, we don't need to be hearing about this. Like Carson Beck. From my understanding, yeah, he was like in Sam Darnold's recruiting class or something like that. Like it's just like, no, man, these guys been playing too long. They're too old. This helps the young guys, the incoming freshmen, fresh out of high school. Because now their rosters aren't loaded with 20-year-olds that have been playing college football for 5 years. The rosters aren't loaded with those anymore. So now they got to go back to recruiting 18-year-olds, 17 and 18-year-olds again. But yeah, because see, let's be honest. People, the NIL came about, because college athletes and college programs were getting decimated by penalties and things like that because, the player took some money to do this or whatever. SMU, Southern Methodist, back in the 80s. You know, they got the death penalty because they were cheating so bad. And so, you know, some years later, you know, almost 40 years later, they started the NIL and letting the players, you know, make money off their name, image, and likeness and whatnot. And they went too far with that. They overcorrect. You know, when you're in driver's ed, they tell you don't overcorrect a skid. Don't overcorrect it. Go with the skid. That's what we did here with the NIL. We overcorrected a skid. We overcorrected the sliding. And all we had to do was go with it. All we wanted to do was give the players a couple bucks to get like a nice, you know, night out or weekend with their girl or something like that. Be able to buy their own jersey out of the bookstore. You know, things like that. We weren't trying to give them, you know, generational money in college. And some of them were, you know, were able to get that if you stayed in college long enough, 2 years, 3 years, you could get that. You know, you get an NIL deal for $3 million. Well, you know, you play for 2 years, $6 million. You know, you've taken care of your mama. You've taken care of your immediate family, at least for the time being. And if you go to the league, the next level, you can take care of them some more. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, you know, so, you know, kudos to Trump for that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta respect that, because the NIL just totally it was crippling college. It was crippling college sports, making it unfun to watch, things like that. And these guys, yeah, I mean, like I said, we were just trying to give them a little bread, just a little, you know, a little extra trick and loot. Not no, you know what I'm saying? Just a little bit of loot. Nothing real spectacular, but enough where they ain't got to always send, you know, ask, you know, calling home, sending money and things like that. Oh, okay. According to the executive order, it starts August 1st, and schools that don't follow the rules, you know, set by the executive order, they have the ability to lose their federal funding. Because as you know, a lot of every college in America gets some type of federal funding, or just about every. I don't know when any that wouldn't, unless they're doing something, you know, very foul with discrimination, things like that. But like I said, I support Trump. What do you think? See, hold on, let me say it before I even, because see, you got these people out here, certain people, I'm not going to mention any names, but I've seen some stuff like, see, they trying to, you know, get control back in college sports. They trying to control you again, you know. They try to control y'all again because y'all making money in college, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, we're not trying to control the athlete. We're trying to control the game. We're trying to control that. You know, because see, yeah, they. I don't get why, you know, college. I don't get why people are upset that college sports would be a little more regulated than pro sports. Like, these are supposed to be, they're supposed to be student athletes representing their university, their college, their school, but instead it turned into something else. You know, and guys are representing themselves, but which, okay, without being coy, which is what it is, because after, like, I was told at a middle school all-star game, this was 10 years ago or so, 2012, so 14 years ago, damn. But yeah, the speaker there, you know, because I was one of the coaches on it, and the speaker there was like, you know, I just want to tell you, you know, you middle schoolers, that, hey, you know, this is the reason why middle school football is special is because this is the last year of us against them. Once you leave middle school, it becomes a business. I felt that. He's right. So I get that. It does become a business. But the way y'all were running business, operating, it was not conducive. The law of diminishing returns was starting to set in set in very quickly. Matter of fact, it had been set in with this era of college football. So, you know, that you gotta got that sword there, that two-edged sword there of, okay, yeah, you want to like see them prosper and, you know, don't see them get not see the athletes getting exploited. You know, they should be able to make money off their own name, but, you know, transferring 3 and 4 times, like, no, this isn't free agency in pro sports. But you tell me, what do you think? Should Trump even bothered with it? Should he even bothered with it, you know, with the U.S. at war? Or is this just more of, you know, it's like legal marijuana dispensaries? You know, everybody's seeing, you know, the possibilities of it, so the government now wants to take it over. You know, is this what the you know, Trump's executive order is? You know, he's seeing the possibilities of the NILs and whatnot, and now he's you know, the government's taking it over. Should the athletes get anything other than their free scholarship? Free scholarship, especially if you're an out-of-state student at a non-college school, like a non-state school, like, I don't know, Xavier, the basketball team in Ohio here, or St. John's, or Duke. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, if you're an out-of-state school student at one of those schools, it's going to cost you a pretty penny. And if you're on scholarship, you know, that's well over $100,000 over the course of 4 years. You know, some people say that's enough. That's all you need. You tell me. Put it in the comments. Because these questions and more will be answered on the next episode of Soap. Go ahead, please like and subscribe to the channel. Leave comments, and I'll holler back at you. Peace.